Hello everyone and happy Thanksgiving! Thank you for joining me today for another video on my YouTube channel and blog. Today's video is a little different from my other card making tutorials. I am sharing some tips for stitching on the go. So ever since I watched Jennifer McGuire's video on stitching on the go, I am addicted and I tried to get the bag that she recommended, but it is out of stock. So I chose to buy this bag from Kipling. This is called the Connie hanging toiletry bag. The measurement on this bag is 9 inches long, 7 inches tall, and 5¼ inches deep. I think it's a really good size. And inside the bag, I grabbed this Floss organizer from Walmart, which is only $3, which fits perfectly in this bag. And as you can see, I just simply leave my project in progress inside this box. So in this little box, I have two secret weapons. First is this Sunstar pen style scissors. I really like to keep everything contained while I do the project on the go, so I searched everywhere and finally found this one compact scissors that's the right size and right length to fit in this box. And the second one is this Dritz-Needle storage tube. It comes with 3 in a pack, and if you look closer, there's a small piece of magnet inside the tube, and the magnet don't fall out. So when you open the tube, ready to get your needle out, the rest of the needle won't just fall out and poke you. I really like this for the safety reason, and the needles I use are some blunt number 22, I believe, Tapestry needles. And here I want to show you how to use the scissors in action. So the side with the pin on is where the two hands will open. So make sure you're holding onto the side with the pin on and then take off the cap. I'm not going to talk too much about the floss. I'm not an expert in stitching. You can search a lot of YouTube channel for a good floss recommendation. But I want to talk about the bobbin I use to organize my floss. So the organizer comes with some plastic bobbins, and that's what I've been using for a while, but I found it's really thin and just feels cheap. So I again searched high and low, and I finally found this bobbin that I'm really happy with at my local Hobby Lobby crafting store. And here's a comparison between the two. The one on the right is the one I got from Hobby Lobby. You can tell it's a better quality, it's thicker, it's smoother, it doesn't feel cheap, I don't find it's flimsy. And I believe it comes with 50 in a pack for 99 cents, so it's a very good price point. So the next I want to talk about the dies I use to prep my paper for stitching on the go. So far I purchased 2 sets. One is from Paper Smooches Cross Stitch. One is from my favorite things cross stitch tag. And I believe Mama Elephant came up with the new one that's the similar design as the Paper Smooches one. But so far these two are the ones I have, and I love them both equally. And to use these dies, I purchased this Spellbinders TOOL N ONE to clean up the dies after I use it to die cut. So here I have a piece that I die cut with my favorite things cross stitch tag, and I would just simply use my roller brush side on the Spellbinders TOOL N ONE to brush off all the excess paper that left in each hole. It took a little while, but it's way faster than poke the little dot through one by one with a piercing tool. And the reason I like to clean up the prep paper piece before I take it to stitching on the go is because I usually do the stitching in a long cart ride or in a hotel room. And I used to do as Jennifer McGuire said she would, that just use the needle to poke it through while I'm stitching, but I find there's a lot of trash laying around me when I'm done, so I start cleaning up my piece beforehand. That way I'm sure I don't leave any trash behind me when I'm done. And after I'm done prep all the pieces, I just put them in a Ziploc bag and then stick it in the same bag with other stitching tool. And I keep the pieces I die cut from the Paper Smooches cross stitch die in another Ziploc bag, and I also die cut from some color cardstock as well. In another Ziploc bag, I keep all my completed pieces. And here I have another secret weapon for stitching on the go. So I shared this on my Instagram a while back. I created this panel showcasing all the different stitches and patterns, and even added sequins to give me an idea and reference when I want to create a pattern on my own, so I can mix match all the patterns that I've been laying out, which helped me come up with the design. I also purchased some flower blossom shaped sequins from Cat Scrappiness. These are some flower shaped sequins that have a lot of dimension and holds up its shape. I think it's really pretty when added on the stitch project. So now we're moving on to the pattern designing. So when I shared this anniversary card I made for my husband, a lot of people asked me on Instagram how I get down the pattern, if I follow a pattern, how to transfer a pattern on the stitching. So here is the key. So there's a free image that coordinate with the Paper Smooches cross stitch die that Paper Smooches website provide. You can go download and print it out. I print out 4 on each sheet. I find that's the perfect scale to match the die itself. And if you find a pattern that you like to do, you can just mark it on the piece of sheet and then follow the pattern that you put down on the paper and do the stitching. But here I found a trick. I printed the same image again on some printable translucent vellum. You can also print on acetate. I then laminate it, so I can use a dry erase marker or Sharpie marker, then clean it up so I can reuse it over and over again. And I can also lay the pattern over the cross stitch panel or the old pattern to trace the pattern down because it's translucent. And for your information, when you transferring pattern on the cross stitch piece, if you die cut the Paper Smooches cross stitch die once on a piece of cardstock, it will create 32 crosses on the long side and 23 crosses on the short side. So you can put almost any pattern down on the paper and then cross stitch the panel, but you need to make sure your pattern will fit in this scale. And here's the finished pattern. Because it's a solid image, I didn't cross every single cross off, but you get the idea, and I can simply lay this over the die cut piece so I know where to stitch, and I can keep referring back to this panel design. So here is all my tips, and also on the side pocket of the bag I also keep some back cut floss in hand and a Sharpie in the other pocket to help me create the design on the go. So here you have all the tips I have for stitching on the go. It may not suit everybody, but if you're like me, like to keep everything contained in the bags and boxes, this may be a good option for you. And as always, thank you so much for watching me today. I appreciate you stop by. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe my channel for more card making tutorials. You can also head over to my blog for more information. I will have a list of all the products I featured in this video. And again, I hope you and your family all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a great day.